And now everybody's been asking the question, are the New York Jets dead? Are they done? Well, people are going to say yes, of course, because Zach Wilson is now the quarterback. But I will give you thoughts on why the New York Jets are still very much in the conversation, not for a Super Bowl, but for the playoffs. Here's the reality of it. We talk about game management, right? That's been the big topic of conversation this past week. I know Errol and Speedy went through it this past week. They talked about Jim McMahon back in the late 60s when Johnny Unitas went down. You could talk about Phil Simms going down, Hostetler coming in, being the quarterback. Hell, Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe went down. Tom Brady comes in. Poof, just like that. But then we also talk about the game managers of today's NFL. And people are saying, oh, game managers cannot win in the NFL. And here's where I disagree with that comment and that conversation. You have a couple of names out there that I've thought about that I could sit here and say, yeah, those guys have done pretty well in the NFL as game managers. Here are the names I'm going to pop off to you. Of course, we talked about Brock Purdy constantly with the San Francisco 49ers. You know, when you have a great defense, which they do, probably the best in football, you have one of the best running games in the league led by Christian McCaffrey, and you have some good weapons on your offense. Brock Purdy is efficient. That's what he is. He's a very efficient quarterback. That's who Brock Purdy is. You talk about Jared Goff for the Detroit Lions. When he was with the Rams a couple years ago, they went to a Super Bowl. He was efficient. He was not a star-studded quarterback. That's not who Jared Goff is still to this day. He's a game manager for the Detroit Lions. Ryan Tannehill won a couple of division titles with the Tennessee Titans. He's a game manager himself. He's not something that's overworldly talented. He's not uber talented, I should say. He's got, again, when you have Derrick Henry and he had A.J. Brown and a very good defense with Mike Vrabel being the head coach, you can be an efficient quarterback. And then, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo, who's always the name that should be first on the list. Been to a Super Bowl, numerous NFC championship games, had success in this league. Okay, he's never put up the otherworldly numbers that these star-studded quarterbacks have had, but he's had success, and he constantly always has success. Every time you look at Jimmy Garoppolo, I see somebody that for some particular reason, you watch him on the field and you say, wow, how is this guy really winning games all the time? Well, he wins games because, again, efficiency, knows how to do things with the system, and I think is a smart enough quarterback to figure out what he could use and can't use. This is where Zach Wilson is going to get his last and final opportunity. And it started Monday night. Zach was put in one of the most impossible situations you can ever imagine. All summer long, we heard about Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowls, this and that. Aaron goes down, 4 plays in. The Jets are home at MetLife, Monday Night Football, national TV. You know the fan base cannot stand Zach Wilson. The team is having to come back in this game. And then Zach is thrusted into this situation, which I could guarantee you, had no idea this in his wildest dreams would ever have to happen. He thought he was going to sit for a year or two, learn at everything, take everything in that Aaron's going to teach and show him. And now Zach is thrusted into a situation that, listen, when you look at the whole thing, it was almost like if you're Buffalo, and I'll get to Josh Allen in a second, you basically had an opportunity to just stomp on their throats, the Jets. Put them down when they already are, okay? It's like taking a horse out back behind the barn and putting it out of its misery. That's what the Buffalo Bills had a chance to do to the New York Jets Monday night. But au contraire, they did not do that, everybody. Here's what happened. They were down 13-3 at halftime. And then the reports came out. Everybody had their head down. They were hanging low. People were upset. And who gives the speech and stands up in the locker room at the half? Zach Wilson. Just tells everybody, listen, it's not over. We're going to do this. We're going to win this game.